Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to dGon vs. Commenters. It's for Facecheck Season 3, Episode 26. I had a lot of fun with this one. I think a couple in the past, we got a little low energy. LS is feeling healthy. We had some spicy plays by some lower teams that made all 10 teams viable, and we took some time to talk about some other leagues, and including sports leagues, so let's dive into it. Endo Double and Diego Gonzalez commenting on the opening I had there. Two of the greatest minds in League of Legends, and yeah, me as well, King. And Diego saying, dGon not saying two of the greatest minds of League of Legends and LS was a missed opportunity. Coming from a fellow dGon, great job, guys. Thank you both. I do remember at the moment of hesitancy, if you go back to the tape, watch the tape, I had the LS joke ready, but I couldn't decide if I was going to burn LS or Dom. And then I felt this moment of like, when you're swimming with sharks and you're among sharks, you feel like a shark. But are you a shark? I wasn't trying to get my ass bitten already. So that was what I was thinking about in that moment. And I was like, all right, I'll pull out of the very funny joke and just be like, yeah, these two guys are great, and I'm great too. Okay, let's get the show started. Pascal Serroux said, last game of the regular season being CLG versus FlyQuest is like, hey, let's see this season off with a banger and kill everyone's sanity since we're at it. Hey, you gotta fit that game in there somewhere. Plus, there's a strong chance that there's playoff implications for it. You can complain about it, but if it does come down to CLG and FlyQuest for a playoff spot, I'm not mad about it. Because I think if you put the most important game of the season there at that slot, people won't watch because it's late, it's Sunday. But put a match in there that could mean something, that's okay. And watch them kind of like struggle to see which one is gonna let the other team win, because that's probably what's gonna happen in this game. Anime Picture Boy Lycan says, dGon has really bad takes. How does he think Immortals can win LCS? I was asking if they have the ceiling to win LCS, because when they are playing correctly, they're one of the most well-coached teams, probably behind Evil Geniuses, and then when they're doing it correctly, 100 Thieves. I would say that they know how to trade objectives. They know how to snowball leads. Where they struggle is when it's equal, and then, you know, I feel like Raze has not been playing very well. But I think this team is well coached, and so a lot of the time what we've been saying and what is said is that these are best of ones, best of fives, the true winner comes out. You know what helps with best of fives? Great coaching. You know who has a great coach? Immortals, because they're getting a ton out of these players. Right? You're getting a ton out of your rookie. Remember, Revenge is a freaking rookie, everybody. Like, I forget too, because of how composed he is and how much he showed up against some of the top players. So, I don't think that asking can Immortals win the LCS is a bad take, or, you know, I'm crazy or whatever. Do I think they're gonna do it? No. But do I think they have a chance to do it? Yes. Yes, I do. Longtime friend of the show, Dildunion says, I have an interesting question I would pose to our community. Would you rather be red hot going into playoffs like Evil Geniuses, but at a lower seed, or would you rather be cold going into playoffs, but get a first round bye like 100 Thieves? 100%. 100%. LCS is like the NHL hockey playoffs. I know I just said National Hockey League hockey playoffs, but having yourself a team that is on fire, specifically a goalie on fire, is the most important thing. Doesn't matter if you're 8th seed or not. Look back at TSM. They were the 6th seed and went back and ran it back and won the title several years ago. That is very much what I think I would rather be than being a top team that is a little cold. Yes, you have time to get a better read on the meta with the playoff bye. You get to see what your opponent did, so if they, pull down any cards, you're ready for it. But I think when you're just in tune with the team, when the oil's pumping and everything's going well, like, you are capable of answering any questions the other team is going to ask you on the Rift. Yes, again, the time will help the preparation and the coaching, the draft, but, let's go back to Jensen Bjergsen, press R or press Zonia's in time or whatever it was. It comes down to execution on the Rift. So I think teams with like Evil Geniuses with Jizuke that's popping off right now, and Danny seems to be in form, and Impact is doing well, and you've got multiple junglers that can come and bring change of pace. I'd rather be that than a team that has cooled off and isn't winning most of their matches going into playoffs. Kind of looking at you. I think 100 Thieves are 3-3. It might be 100 Thieves are 3-3 in the last 2 weeks. Good question, Dildanian. That's what I would like. What would you all at home like? And while you're at it, writing your comment, make sure you like the video and subscribe for all your LCS content, of course, featuring me. Romney Gonzalez, it's my brother that doesn't know how to spell his last name correctly, says, I hope the LCS remove this stupid ass playoff system. 8 teams getting into playoffs is such a dumbass idea. Just put the top 6. No. Work for the NBA because they 30 damns teams. In the NBA, just roughly 55% of the team on each conference gets to the plays. In the LCS, 80% of the teams gets into playoffs. Just look how damn stupid this model is. The combined record thing is awesome because reward consistency, rewards teams who get their shit together through the year instead of those who are a total shit show like CLG, Golden Guardians, and FlyQuest. To be fair, Golden Guardians didn't look that bad at the back half of the of this summer split and looked like and did beat some of the top teams. So did Academy FlyQuest, but we saw that they tapered off there at the end. So I do like the fact that Golden Guardians still has an opportunity to make playoffs, right? By having the elongated season, because if it was a shorter season, Golden Guardians probably would still have a chance to make playoffs, but then teams that were better would get punished, aka the Cloud9s of the world, or the Dignitai of the world. I don't know, Dignitases, whatever the plural is. But yeah, I think we knew that the LCS needed to find a way to make the spring split more valuable. I liked that they made the change. I don't know if I liked the change at all. Maybe you can review the tapes, but I do think that we now know that this isn't it either, right? It is. Yeah, we think it isn't it either. I would rather have 2 splits separated, play for MSI, and then and have 2 separate splits than what we had this year. This year felt like a slog. Like the summer split felt a lot worse than usual, but we had all these like swapsies, right? So that kind of covered it up. Imagine if we didn't have all these players and all this drama and all this stuff happening. It would have been a slog of a summer split because we basically ended where we started. You know, Team Liquid fell off a little bit more than what people thought, but it's not like, hey, we had an immaculate run from the bottom half up to the top half. Like Immortals might be able to get the 6th seed, but that wasn't, you know, that if it was a summer split, they would probably be a higher seed. So, yeah. Nice take there, Rumnies. D-Vince Clan 11 says, it's sad to me that TSM is still being held back by Champion Pool. Power of Evil really can't play anything but control mages, and the rest of the team is inconsistent. Inconsistent. That was good, though. That was a good laugh. Thanks, man. All right. The team being inconsistent has nothing to do with champ pools because, again, Hooney's playing a lot under the sun, and we know he could revert back to tanks because it's probably easier to play tanks than it is Jace or Nocturne. But the fact that he has Jace and Nocturne in his champ pool, he's also played Viego, which we think goes back to the jungle now, shows that they're willing to play other things. He's also played Gnar, so GP, like Hooney's champ pool is fine. So I don't think that's the issue. Inconsistency will partially be the issue, and that's what you get with Hooney. You either get highly dominant performances when he's motivated and feels good and feels loved on his team, or you get these duds. And so you knew what you signed up for when you signed him, TSM. You were hoping to get the highs, and they have gotten a lot of the highs. That is why they're that high up on the table, and my pick to be the #1 seed going into the LCS Championship. With Power of Evil and his champ pool, yes, I know it's an issue, but again, I brought it up to Dom. He has played a handful of champions coming into this the split. I don't think he plays the melee champions well, but I also don't think you need to play the melee champions. Jizuke has pulled out Rise, bro, and blows people up. There is champ pool diversity in the mid lane that does suit Power of Evil, and him on Orianna is never going to be a terrible thing. Will it be optimal? No. Like, you want to have the ability to play all these different champions, but is it terrible? No, it's not terrible either. So I think TSM is in a much better spot than what you think Vince Clan 11. I think that they'll be able to shore up some of their issues, including inconsistency. All right, next up, I had a call to action during the show. It was about FlyQuest people, and here they are. Yoshi, SF, and Lehar. We'll start with Lehar said, yes, I am a FlyQuest fan. They're the best underdog story since last year. And Yoshi, speaking the truth, saying, FlyQuest fan here, it felt like a blow to lose last year's team. I stuck around because, like Dom said, I'm Latino. What? So I am a Jose Dioto fan. Did Dom say that? Nothing but pain so far, Lamau. All right. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? Again, it was just a year ago that FlyQuest got back-to-back finals appearances. That is going to be one hell of a trivia question in the history books of LCS, maybe even Worlds if you want to expand it out. Like, hey, who was the #2 seed for 2 splits in a row back in 2020? It was FlyQuest. It was Power of Evil. It was Solo / Viper and Santorin and Wild Turtle, and who's his support? Ignar, right? That whole team there had the magic. They had the friendship, and then they sold the friendship for the playoff buff that was Solo. And so I think that Nick Fan had a job to do on his hands. Was it, do I keep some of those parts at an expensive price and go for a rebuild and try to piece it together for another run? Or do I go for a rebuild? And there's only one piece that I would want to keep from that, and that would be Power of Evil. And Power of Evil is expensive. Like, he's an expensive player to have. That's why he's over at TSM. TSM could afford him. Maybe 100 Thieves might have been able to afford him. And I don't think you're looking to move on from Jensen if you're Team Liquid. Maybe Cloud9, but I don't know if that's what Cloud9 wanted, especially if you had the opportunity to swing big and go get perks. So yeah, I think then after that, you're forced to look at your whole roster and look at the whole infrastructure of FlyQuest. So it's just what they've done, right? They built up one of the most solid academy rosters in the LCS. This does mean you're probably a year or two, probably 2 years away from competing, because those guys need reps to get comfortable in the LCS and to that level of caliber. So it does feel like a bummer for those that jumped onto the bandwagon of FlyQuest for the moniker of winning and for the moniker of being the best, right? They're trying to be the best organization that they can be, right? If you follow FlyQuest for that, they've done a fantastic job of that. One of the best jobs of that, building an identity and a brand. How big that identity and brand can be, will be, but I mean, we'll see. But I still feel like they've done all of those quests, me quest, C quest, tree quest, to success. So, yeah, I think from product on the Rift, it's been a little tough. I do think that you have to make a tough decision now. It's like, hey, Palafox has been in Academy and kind of like dumping Academy for several years now. What do we make of him? What are we doing with him? Same thing with Diamond. What do we do with him? I think you keep Diamond. I think Diamond just kind of went into like a little rough patch there. I don't know what you do about Palafox. I don't know. I think you give Jose Dioto a split. But I mean, at the end of the day, these contracts aren't done like split by split. They're done by like multi-years. And I do think that they probably got a value addition from Jose Dioto, and their whole roster is probably relatively value compared to the rest of the LCS. But because it's value, efficiency value, it's not like, hey, power, or hey, like you're overpaying for talent. That is why you find them at the bottom half of the playoffs. So I think that this is just a decision that FlyQuest made, and they're going to reap it for a couple of years. And so if you're a FlyQuest fan, you better love a lot of the other things that FlyQuest provides other than their play on the Rift. And when they get their wins, cherish it, but reminisce on the good times when you guys got to go to Worlds. All right, everyone, those were your comments for the week. Again, thank you so much for watching Facecheck, coming in and commenting. I appreciate all of you guys. LS and Dom, we talk about it off camera a lot. Like, we got something good going, so thank you all for supporting. And again, leave your comments here. I'll be in the comments section to dive in and see what your guys' spicy takes are.
Well, that's the end of that video.
You want more though, right? Thought so. Good thing YouTube makes it so easy to watch more VENN Esports simply by clicking the subscribe button, dinging the bell, and exploring all the other good stuff we have to offer. Got some good things. Yeah. I remember that one. Yeah, this was the one that we did that one time, and it was like so great. It was so good. I learned a lot. You should click on it. It's this one.